Hey guys, Ashley's Reef. Sorry, I'm stealing a little bit of ideas here from Ross's Reef, which is a channel I recommend you check out because he had the Nuvo Fusion 20. I think he has the 25 Lagoon now, but he had some amazing corals in there and a lovely aquascape. And I've watched a lot of his videos along the way. So if you are looking at getting the Nuvo 20, then do go and follow his channel as well. So just where I'm at. I've now done the aquascape, so made this yesterday after many days of messing around, obviously because the shipment I got from Charterhouse Aquatics came on the 17th or 18th. I'm still waiting for my ATO, which seems to be out of stock again, but I'm not too fussed. So I've obviously used D&D's construction epoxy, and we've used the coralline algae variant of it. Obviously it blends quite well into the rock. Obviously, all of this will get covered in algae and what have you not from, what have you not from transit? Oh my god, from just being in the tank. Anyways, so I hope you like this aquascape. To be fair, it took like I said, it took days of just having rocks out. Like it was a mess in here. Really tried to hit the epoxy hard and like get it in those areas over there, just where everything's joining. Did try and chisel the rock away and stuff like that, and you can actually see initially when it did have the rock, there's obviously a chunk missing, and I did try and chisel just to see if I could create anything, but I wasn't too keen on what was left behind in terms of, that bare rock. And I know it'll get covered obviously because I've said that with the putty, epoxy putty, but yeah, so there's quite a lot of space here for corals, and there's a lot of gaps. So and there's it's quite porous, and obviously I'm hoping for quite a lot of flow really, and it seems to be that will be the case because you can see from either side of the rock is quite porous. So I actually ended up with. So for those of you that are wondering just how much live rock, so obviously to create a structure like that, I ended up with one of these bits left, which I'm gonna smash into rubble, just so I can mount. Just so I can mount corals to it later on. See another chunk over there. What else have we got? And we've also still got another piece here. So really, quite a lot. But that's, basically planning on this piece to go in the front of the tank. So I'm hoping to pop this piece here. And I was actually going to saw it in half and lower it down a bit, just so it doesn't like overwhelm this part, because you want to see this. So yeah, guys, I recommend taking your time and just experimenting and seeing what works for you. I would do it for an hour, because it does get quite frustrating. I would do it for an hour, then I would come back in an hour and tackle it again. If it's really annoying you and you're really not getting where you want to go, just come back the next day, because if there's anything I've learned, it's patience. I can build a computer in a day, I can build a drone in a day, but I tell you what, getting a fish tank right has been the most time-consuming and non-straightforward hobby I have ever tackled in my life. Everything from attempting to fix the rocking on the cabinet by attaching these brackets to the back. I built this from scratch as well, by the way. So this is all home built with those pieces over there that I got from home base. So yeah, all the plywood panels, everything put in by myself. Got the plugs mounted like that. I will tack them down, but I've counted them through, so I have got a total of 9 sockets. Obviously, because that one takes up one of the 4, and dosing container down there as well, and the lights. So one thing I will say though is that these lights I obviously got from China, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're so bright. I've got another one over here as well. But I did get hit by customs, so I did get £21 worth of customs. So I got £12 from Parcel Force for releasing it, and I also got VAT of about 8 or 9. So do bear that in mind, guys, if you're purchasing stuff, especially with the EMS. I've never ever had an issue with anything being of the value of 20, and then being hit by customs have always been relatively okay. But anyway, so Unfortunately, I made the mistake of getting a refractometer that was meant for sugar solution and not salt, so I couldn't mix anything yesterday, but it's probably a good thing because I've had the chance today to, sorry for the mess, it's just a bit clearing up what's here. So I've had a chance today to essentially just test out some of the components. So this is my RO water, which is now at it's a bit contaminated, so 11 ppm right now. But that's it started off at 0, but I've used it to clean all the stuff. So that's why the ppm's up on it now. But I'm just testing the heater, got the Jabo wave maker, which runs a little bit loud, I must say. That's the only thing. I'll let you listen for a second. Then I'll just ramp it up. I mean, you can hear the modularity in moving up. And this essentially, I'll put it on what would be wave mode. So there is a heck of a lot of flow, and I was really surprised, and so was my girlfriend. So I'm quite happy in that respect, but it's quite loud, so give it a few weeks, let it break in, and if it persists, then it's not really a big deal. I mean, you've seen from obviously the tank, it's downstairs essentially, so it's not a massive deal. So I've got a temperature probe in there, and I've read so many horror stories about heaters. This is the Eheim one, so I went on the Reef to Reef and looked at the polls, and the Eheim one seemed to be the most popular. So I went with the Eheim, but I've also, just for precaution, I've gone with a sort of external thermostat controller, which I'm just calibrating. So I'm waiting for the water to go to 25, set it to 25 on here, and then set it to, what have I set it to on here? 27. So what I'm hoping to see, obviously, is I'm hoping this to read 25, and I'm hoping that to cut out. There's a little light on the back that indicates it's on or off, so I want to see if that cuts out first. I've also got my TDS meter, which has a temperature function built in, which I'll use just to monitor. There's a bit of a discrepancy right now between the both of them, which is a bit unfortunate. But then I will then return to the thermostat, the heater, and see what I can do there. All my reverse osmosis water is in here. I was originally hoping just to mount the reverse osmosis unit in the tank, not in the tank, sorry, in the cabinet, but it was about 60% bigger, no, sorry, that's a lie, 110% bigger than what I thought it would be. So that's not happening, so I'll have to find a new place for that. There is my water, this is at 0 ppm right now. What was really handy is because I bought 2 Eheims, obviously, as you lot saw in the unboxing. I had the stock pump, so I've used the stock pump just to keep this water flowing. Obviously you can see there's quite a bit of particulate matter on the top settling, but it's not causing an increase in the ppm. It's not dissolving into the water, and I'm hoping the filter socks will make light work of that. And you can imagine that my girlfriend is absolutely livid with me right now, as there is mess everywhere, and I cannot for the life of me explain just how bad it was. But if you ever come to setting up a tank, you will find out. So skimmer, I had to do 2-part epoxy. I just got one from Wilco's, just a permanent bond one. Attached this on, clamped it, left it overnight, solid as a brick. I don't know why, but my OCD is kicking in, and I hate the fact that this is just a degree off in terms of being vertical, but obviously you'll never see it. Cut the tubing, put it in some hot water as well to straighten it out. Tested the protein skimmer, cleaned it, so all there. I was a bit of a pleb as well, so obviously I opened my Eheim stuff and I've actually misplaced this part on that pump, but it didn't matter because I just put this baffle on it. Those pumps as well move a heck of a lot of water compared to the stock pump, so I would highly recommend getting the Eheim ones, because the stock pump is fairly loud, but nothing in comparison to the skimmer. The missus thought I had the kettle on when I put the skimmer on, so there we go. So guys, that's the light as well from China. 36 watts total output. Really annoying though, they didn't supply an EU to UK adapter, so I might be a little bit stuck on lights for now. Obviously I can get a two pin lead from eBay basically. And yeah, so I got all my prophy tests in there. And I'm using the reef starter mature. So obviously with the coralline algae, you have to introduce it into your tank. It won't just start from nothing. So I am hoping for that to cover the epoxy and, provide some food for the crabs. Well, actually, no, it will be crabs because I'll have one emerald crab and maybe 2 or 3 hermits. Again, the missus is not keen on snails, so I won't be having any nefarious snails in there or turbo snails, whatever. Unfortunately, so my sand will be cleaned with the turkey baster there. We'll give it a good old squeeze now and again and make sure everything's clean and there's no detritus. And obviously with the filtration, I will be running filter. I'm not going to be bothering with media. I'm pretty happy with the mechanical filtration of the sock. Obviously we'll see how it goes and I'll measure nitrates. I'm struggling to sort of come to terms with what exactly I want with the tank in terms of, do I want it to be, no nutrient, really low, either absolutely clean in terms of having no nutrients, nitrates, whatever, and very, very low phosphates, or do I want it to have nitrates in the region of, 0 to 10 ppm? So that is something I'm still deciding on, but I'm not willing to swap out media bags every week, and that's not really something I want to do. But I'll quite happily swap out filter socks. I've obviously, as you guys seen, I did get 2 more. And another thing what I noticed is that this tank does seem to be a revised version of ones that originally came, because originally they all came with media baskets, which is why I bought 2 of them. So now I have 4. Filter socks. It originally came with media baskets, the first version. It now comes with filter socks. I'd obviously bought 2, thinking that it wouldn't come. So now I've got 4 socks in total. And the other revision was in terms of the actual top cover. So if I go and grab that for you, I've always got the D&D salt there and the ATO jug. Bit of a mess everywhere with cat food. We recently got a cat as well, so that'll be fun. But as you can see, this netting is more of a transparent netting as opposed to the white mesh that they had before. And like I said, I went looking at, when the tank came, I opened it, I was like, damn it, there's no white clips, they've forgotten them. But upon closer inspection, I've realised that, it's all-in-one solution for the top cover, which is great. So no more clips. Every little gap here is covered. I'm hoping, basically I'm going to get some polystyrene, a thin sheet, cut it to length, put foil on top of it, and then in the night I'm going to just sit it on top of here, because, I want to try and tackle the sort of heating cost of it. And I'll also put some foil at the bottom here to insulate. And that's pretty much it. I think refugium as well will be going in eventually, so I'm going to get some acrylic cut and then cement the pieces together to the correct length, and hopefully that'll give away to a refugium, which I'm hoping will tackle the nitrates, etc. But it'll be interesting to see how the tank progresses. I'm hoping for water to go in tomorrow, so that will be good. The refractometer's coming from Amazon today. So thanks guys for sticking around. It was a very, very long video, but subscribe guys if you want to see more. Obviously we'll be following us through.